Former Chief of Army Staff General Shankar Roychowdhury, Commander J Singh is President of the Ex-Servicemen League of the Karnataka Unit, General D Bakshi, Maroof Raza, who was debating yesterday quite passionately with Sanjay Jha, who's also back. So we said we'll take this discussion forward, and here we are, Sanjay. We never make a promise and don't stick to it. Prakash Javdekar, National Spokesperson and Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha of the BJP. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's begin the debate, okay? So Maroof, yesterday on this program, Sanjay Jha said there's nothing wrong with the submarines. Today, the Finance Minister of India, no less, who's a member of the Cabinet Committee on Security, says, I am sincerely sorry, and I say this with all responsibility, that at some point of time, the maintenance of the submarine appears to have been neglected. How does this change things from where we left it in yesterday's debate? I'd like you to take it forward before I get Sanjay Jha. How does this change things, and especially the position Mr. Jha took yesterday?
Arnab, there are a couple of issues which this accident of today now brings the entire story into a slightly bigger perspective. The first point that I want to drive home, and I want to say this on behalf of the security preparedness of the country, that though we've been having mishaps, and these mishaps, as we all know, and the finance minister has indicated that if you read between the lines, that these mishaps have been happening because not enough attention or funds are being diverted towards the upkeep of the equipment. The Navy is still very war-worthy. I want to bring this point home again and again, that we are not going to be in a state that our Navy cannot take on an operational role tomorrow, God forbid. The problem with the Navy is twofold. One is it has been stretched operationally to a point where the commanders have allowed the equipment to be used extensively, and therefore leaving time for refit and repair and replacement minimal. The second point is that the entire refit, repair and replacement is really the responsibility of the defense bureaucracy, and both these bodies come under the triangle that the defense minister sits on. So, which is the point I want to make, that whatever the defense of the defense minister, that he is an extremely honest man, God bless him and his honesty. But the fact of the matter is that that itself is not going to guarantee against an adversary taking on India. What we need is, we need somebody to look in and shake up the system and address the issues.
No, but I asked you about Chidambaram's. I asked you about Chidambaram's comment. You haven't yet addressed that, Maroof. My question was on Chidambaram's comment. Come to the point, Maroof.
Yeah,
on
I'm saying comment. Arnab, I said so earlier on a phone-in interview. I said so just now also, that I think Mr. Chidambaram's made a telling point. And his telling point is that the resources are available, but it's an issue of mismanagement. And that's the point I'm alluding to again and again. The mismanagement is happening under the watch of a very honest defense minister. Good for him, he's an honest man. But is it good for India to have a defense minister and a defense establishment which is not delivering on national interest? That's the big question.
You take back your spirited defense of the AK Antony and all that you said yesterday, given that Mr. Chidambaram himself is referring to what has been going wrong and has admitted it today. Sanjay?
Arnab, notwithstanding the very unfortunate accident that has happened today, which has led to the death of an officer.
Another officer.
Of the matter
Another officer.
Mr. Antony. And let me add to what Mr. Raza said. It's not just that Mr. Antony is a good and honest man with impeccable credentials. He's also been an excellent defense minister.
That's all right. That's a certificate. What other certificate will he get from you?
Sanjay, I'm sorry, Mr. Jha.
I'll tell you what I'm saying.
I do not support that. I do not support that point of view.
Mr. Raza, kindly don't interrupt me.
Competence is another thing. Sorry, Mr. Jha. No, you interrupted me yesterday, and I want to interrupt on a central point. Let us not mislead ourselves that honesty and competence is the same thing. Please.
No, as far as this case is concerned...
Well, let me explain the competence part. You haven't even heard. No, one minute. Arnab, let me finish because even I can carry on if I wish to.
Commander Singh and Prakash Javdekar... Commander Singh and Prakash Javdekar, let Sanjay Jha
continue. You have asked me a question on India's defense minister. As a spokesman of the party, I have a right to answer.
Fine.
And you must have the decency and the protocol to listen to me out.
Sanjay,
because I represent a party which is currently in government.
Yes, so?
You can't afford to give me a short charge here.
No, I'm sorry.
So
whether you are in government or out of government, I won't give you any...
defense ministry.
No, 1 second,
you
Sanjay.
cannot accuse...
Sanjay,
one minute.
Sanjay,
so
1 minute.
What gives you the right...
No, Sanjay.
What gives you the right to make summary calls for the resignation of the defense minister without acknowledging that 1 minute that we have had an INS Vikramaditya, we have had an INS Vikram. These are aircraft carriers of an international caliber. Why don't you tell the people on the news hour about the INS Arihant, where you have an indigenous, homemade, home-produced nuclear submarine? Nobody's talking about it.
What are you trying to justify? What are you trying to justify, Sanjay? Sanjay, what are you trying to justify?
This channel has covered it.
Gentlemen, 1 minute.
And they have all happened in the Western Command. That needs to be addressed. It's a responsibility of the Naval Command to look into it. The defense minister does not have day-to-day operations or maintenance.
No, I think
the responsibility of the Naval Command.
One second, Prakash Javdekar,
talking about malfunctioning.
Arnab, Mazagon Docks is not under Western Command.
Error, that could be a function of training. That could be a function of leadership. That could be a function of delegation. That could be a function of multiple other factors. You can't be blaming the defense minister for everything.
Sanjay, now you made your point. Now let me come in, please. Let the others come in, Sanjay. Otherwise, we will not be able to do the debate. 1 second. I first want to set some ground rules here. I need to put some ground rules into this, please. 1 minute, please, gentlemen. Let's put some ground rules into this. And by the way, Mr. Jha, what on earth did you mean? That I am from the ruling party and hence you must give me more of a chance? I don't care if you are from the ruling party.
No, because you never do.
I don't care whether you're from the ruling party.
I feel sometimes on your program, 1 minute, I am supposed to speak on behalf of the government. There are 6 people.
I am from the ruling party, so let me speak.
And I don't get even 1/5 of the space.
Mr. Jha, I'll put a clock next time on to your
spokesperson
Mr. Jha.
Party.
Mr. Jha.
You ask, 1 minute.
So, Mr. Jha, I'll give you the data tomorrow morning on how long you speak and how long the others speak. Okay, Mr. Jha. Mr. Jha, 1 minute. I request you now.
You are not asking for
I request you now. Yeah. You see, 1 second.
Mr. Goswami can ask for the resignation of the defense minister.
Yes, I can.
And I don't have a right to defend him.
Yeah,
that cannot be. You cannot have
but Mr. Jha, unlike you, I don't repeat myself. I'll make a simple point, please. Simple point. I don't believe in repeating myself and going on and on and on and on and on. I don't. So I'll make a simple point. There are 2 others, 3 others, 4 others who have not spoken, including a former chief of staff. The former chief of army staff may not be from the ruling party, but he also has the right to speak. Now, Prakash Javdekar, not from the ruling party. Sir, please wait. Let Commander J Singh come in because he wanted to take on Sanjay Jha. Yes, Commander J Singh.
Yes, I want to inform Sanjay Jha first. Does he know how much is the coastline? We have to defend 7,500 kilometers of coastline with 1197, almost 1,200 islands around this country. And let me tell you that I see a new trend, a new pattern emerging. That is that the blame of every malfunction, every bad equipment, every system failure is being put on men in uniform just because they happen to be under Army, Navy and Air Force Act, and they can easily be arm twisted by the bureaucrats and by the defense minister. But let me make it very clear that this particular incident that took place in Bombay, where the officer, it has come in the media that he tripped, it is a rotten lie. It is a rotten ware which is being sold out to the nation, and the nation is not ready to buy it. It is a total lie. We are naval officers. We can stand. We can balance ourselves when the ship is rolling and pitching in rough waters, at 60-degree roll. And we know how to walk on the deck. We are careful. So saying that the officer just tripped and fell down, no, it is.
And there is something else. And Commander, 1 minute. Commander, I now want to reveal something very important. Commander, I want to reveal something very important which our viewers must know. Our viewers must know. And I'm coming to you right after that, yes. Prakash Javdekar. I think you'll find this information interesting, and maybe it will also make Sanjay more aware of the reality of the situation. You see, Mazagan Docks is a public sector unit. The INS Kolkata, where this incident happened today, is part of Project 15A, which is a class of stealth-guided missile destroyers being constructed for the Indian Navy. You know the kind of delays that have happened in the UPA government in this? It was approved 13 years ago in 2001. 2 years, nothing happens. Construction begins in 2003, right? INS Kolkata was to be delivered in 2008, 6 years back. That was then pushed to 2010. It has still not been commissioned. The CAG has torn apart the government for the delay in the construction as well as the cost overruns, which I'm sure are, making some pockets heavy. Cost overruns in the construction of Project 15 and 17. The Kolkata class destroyers, hold your breath. These are facts. The Congress party spokesperson does not know. I will have to educate him today. The Kolkata class destroyers went through 2,300 modifications during this entire period of construction, which is another reason for this delay. My God, all of this. This is not acceptable. And after this, if an incident happened, what happens to the government? It's not our fault. There's no fault of the political executive. Political executive is great. Ask the Navy officers. The Navy officers must have a problem. Maybe they don't know their job. Maybe they fall downstairs. I mean, come on. Let's get real. Prakash Javdekar, your turn.
It's very simple take. He is defending
Arnab, give me a chance to educate you when you are done next.
I have just educated you to ingest that for a while. Prakash Javdekar.
I think you need some.
No, don't worry. I'll educate you on facts.
Prakash Javdekar, please, all this fluff. This kind of thing. I'm arguing on fact. Don't respond. You respond only factually. Yeah.
Prakash Javdekar, argue on facts.
Sanjay Jha.
I'll argue with you on facts.
Sanjay Jha, now please, calm down.
I'll argue with you on facts.
Calm down, Sanjay. Calm down. Your finance minister has criticized your defense minister today.
Because you are making wild allegations every day of the week. And I can tell you, a majority of them, you are very selective in the way you disclose them.
Mr. Jha, and let me tell you this very, very clearly. I don't know who owns Ashmore. I don't know if kickbacks were paid. I don't know if 600 crores went there, right? I don't know whether the submarines were delayed. I don't know. Maybe you will say tomorrow even Chidambaram is wrong. Tomorrow you might say Chidambaram is not part of the Cabinet Committee on Security taking critical decisions. Maybe you'll say that tape is also fake. Maybe you'll say Kalmadi is innocent. Maybe you'll say Raja was also innocent. Maybe you'll say Dayanidhi Maran. Maybe you'll say Dayanidhi Maran should not have resigned.
Well, this is how transparent.
Fine. So all these facts are in public domain. Don't now, Mr. Jha, let others speak. Now you're really beginning to, please. Prakash Javdekar has been waiting. Yeah. Mr. Javdekar.
See, whatever his opinion, he is defending the indefensible. I am the member of the Standing Committee on Defence. Every year, last 4 reports, we have submitted to the Parliament. We have said that Navy is being neglected. Even Chidambaram is not fully right when he says that we have provided full amount, whatever is required. No, in our reports we have mentioned that Navy's requirement are neglected and they must be given more funds. And whatever funds are given, he has criticized the way they are being used. So, if the political executive is not, who is heading the ministry, is not responsible and the clerk lower down is responsible, this is absolute absurd logic. The important part is, this is the 11th accident in 11 months. And bizarre kinds of accidents have happened, very serious accidents have happened, from Sindhu Rakshak to Sindhu Ratna to today's Kolkata and the Konkan and Airawat and everything. It's a story in itself. The Navy is in bad shape because you are not giving what is due to the Navy. And as Commander was rightly saying, that 7,000 kilometers and 1,200 islands. It's a tremendous job. Our Marines are fighting and they are very energetic, but at the same time, if you don't provide the... He was telling about Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya has no defense mechanism of its own. It can't be really operating. It is the ship ready, which is refitted.
I think he doesn't know.
But
with due respect, Mr. Javdekar, you don't know.
Mr.
Jha, please let him
think you know your facts, even if you're in the standing committee. That's a shocker. That's a shocker. You're in the standing committee and you don't know the facts. I have them here in front of me.
Mr. Jha, please listen to him as a member of parliament. Please,
I have visited many submarines and we have seen the condition of submarines. We have discussed with Marines and we know for certain
I'm surprised
that
today.
the situation today warrants immediate attention.
I would have thought General Shankar Roychowdhury that on a program like this, when yet another incident happens, and this is such a serious issue, that there should have been, instead of saying there is no problem, because the attitude of Mr. Sanjay Jha is there is no problem. Anybody who asks questions is politically motivated. We are right and we
I haven't said that.
Well,
I said let the inquiry happen. I started by saying it is unfortunate what has happened. Let the inquiry happen.
You know that.
But you know I don't
believe in.
You're a Chief Justice, Mr. Arnab Goswami.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, take away all that. You know, I'll tell you, Mr. Jha, I'll tell you one thing.
I'll tell you one thing.
I can take.
But you can't be so unilateral.
I can take.
You can't be so independent.
But Mr. Jha, I'll tell you one. I'm making a choice now. I'm making a choice, right? I have decided, Mr. Jha, vis-a-vis you, that whenever you try and make the personal comments, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your personal comments, right? Now, I can do two things, Mr. Jha, right? I can take those personal comments, I can wring them dry and throw it back at you. But I choose, but I think the most civilized option of dealing with this kind of a way in which you're speaking is to take all those comments and throw them into the dustbin. So I take all those comments and I'm throwing them into the dustbin. I'm going to go back to the fact. I would now request that there be no arrogance of power. Let there be no arrogance of power. Officers have died and soldiers have died. This is not a time to reflect the arrogance of power. General Shankar Prasad has been waiting for his turn. And I said, Mr. Jha, I have the option of taking your comments, wringing them dry and throwing them back at you. But I will not respond in kind. I have thrown your personal comments into a dustbin out here. If you make any more personal comments, I'll throw them into the dustbin again. Don't make personal comments. Stay on the subject. General Shankar Roychowdhury, can we today respond in the same way with what is happening in the way we've done so far? Is that not itself a dangerous response?
The defense has always been low priority for whichever government has been in power, and this government is no exception. The Navy is far too inadequate in strength, in equipment, in maintenance, in everything to carry out its task. It is doing its best. It's a magnificent Navy. But as one of the reports, I think it was on your show or maybe it was in the print, the brother of this officer who died, the lieutenant commander who died, apparently made a remark when he had come home and he was going back into the ship for this trip, that we are sailing in a bomb.
Yes.
We are sailing in a bomb. I think that sums up the state of equipment in the Navy, and the government does not seem to be the least bothered about it.
Well, they haven't looked at it so far. Before I hit a break, and I'm hitting a short break, D Bakshi, I give you 30 seconds before I hit a break, so everyone's at their first say. 1 second, I'm coming back in just 2 minutes. D Bakshi, just take half a minute, and then we are taking a break and coming back in 2 minutes. Yes, D Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, it was stated that the defense minister is lily white as far as, doing his job by the defense forces is concerned. Do you know that the submarine building program was initiated in the year of the Lord 1999? By today, we should have had close to 24 submarines. We are down to 13 and now 12. And by the year of the Lord 2016, we will be down to 5 submarines. The same number that Pakistan has. When the Indian Navy has to fight 65 submarines of the Chinese Navy and 5 of the Pakistanis. We have been reduced to the size of the Pakistani Navy. That's some achievement for the Minister of Defense.
I take a break at this point. We're going to get a response from everyone on the other side. The question today is, Chidambaram has said, Chidambaram, I am sorry what has happened at INS Sindhuratna. Chidambaram has confirmed the Times Now expose on batteries. Chidambaram has said that I hope that the money allocated should be spent on essential matters. Who allocates the money? Is it the men in uniform alone? I'm back in just a couple of minutes on the other side. It's interesting that even in the last few days of the UPA government, the ministers are specializing in contradicting themselves. Now, they've done so very often in the past. But Maroof, this latest one, 3 days ago, a preliminary report into the Sindhuratna accident said that burnt cables due to a possible short circuit in the sailors' accommodation was the trigger, not the batteries. Chidambaram refers to the neglect of the batteries when he addresses a student audience. I think it's very important that the Ministry of Defence and the Ministry of Finance Minister and Defence Minister are both members of the Cabinet Committee on Security. They are giving us two different versions. Actually complicates the entire issue. Should the government come clean on what really the problem was? And more urgently than in the way that is. And even if it does, can it be trusted anymore?
Well, Arnab, you know, there are
I'm going to come to you, Sanjay, after Maroof.
One is, I think, you know, there could be a case of conflicting rivalries at senior levels of the ministry, and it is an open secret that there isn't. I mean, I'm not a political pundit, but whatever little I know, there isn't enough harmony amongst the top honchos in the Congress party. Now, Mr. Jha may have a different take on it, and fair enough. The second point is that as far as the equipment is concerned, you know, there is a central point I made earlier, which I want to make again, and it has come out by some distinguished officers on the show, that the equipment provisioning and providing, whether new or even upgrades and funds for the same, there is a certain amount of very, very strict control over the spending powers even of very senior officers of the rank of chief and vice chief of the defense bureaucracy. I have had several chiefs tell me in private that there is a great degree of frustration in their vision and wisdom being contested by people who are generalists. And this absence of professionalism in the Ministry of Defense is at the core of the division between how the armed forces see their role and how they should be handling the equipment, and how the ministry perceives whether the fund is to be released further or not. Believe me, there is a great degree of struggle that senior officers and various headquarters have to take up to get funds released for what are genuine purposes. So while Mr. Chidambaram might be perceiving that the money is made available to the Defence Ministry, it doesn't trickle down to the end user in a smooth manner that it should.
Who do you blame for that?
Central to
who do you blame for that?
Departure between
the Congress party says blame the service chief.
The defence bureaucracy. No, the defence bureaucracy and the inability of the minister to ensure smooth flow of funds to the services. You know, after all, the money is meant for the fighting man and for his equipment. And if the minister can't ensure the smooth functioning of his ministry, I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue to keep buying the line that he's a very honest man, good for him, and God bless his soul. But the fact of the matter is, India needs somebody who can make the system work.
Well, that didn't happen at all. Now, Sanjay Jha wanted to respond. D Bakshi coming to you right after that. You know, we've had Chidambaram contradicting Antony. Point number one, revelation of a huge delay in the project at Mazgaon Drops, where the accident happened right now, and yet complete defiance from the Congress representative on the program once again. In fact, I'd like to tell our viewers that there was an 11,026-page report lauding Antony, celebratory, making Antony look like he's the best defense minister India has ever had or India is ever going to have. Not one word on his failures, not one word on his blip, on all the blips that he had. Almost as if it were to end after Admiral Joshi's resignation. Sanjay Jha, I just made that point yesterday because I would have expected an honest report to talk about the blips in Antony's tenure, but there wasn't a mention of one. Anyway, which of these questions now do you want to answer? Chidambaram versus Antony, perhaps?
Well, I can No, I'll tell you what. I think I don't want to even respond to idle, speculative gossip on relationship between senior ministers. It's not worth my time, honestly. I think that's meant for gossip mongers to comment on. The fundamental point is, and I repeat that again, what's happened is wrong, and this is something that the defense minister has gone on record repeatedly. Please, for heaven's sake, and I request you, Arnab, that let us not ridicule, not just his integrity, but his concern for whatever has happened.
Oh, please.
Point number two, when the Defense Minister of India makes a statement on matters of national security, and he's made a statement saying that India's blue water capabilities are strong. He's talking not just about, 1 minute, there may have been accidents and they have to be prevented. And, the issue of the debate that Raza keeps raising about the civilian and the military relationship. Yes, this has been a chronic issue.
Will you ever
but the
answer on
fundamental issue is, issue is that India is well prepared. I can tell you, for those who complain about expenditure on maintenance, I have the numbers, Arnab. During the last 6 years, the defense budget of India has gone up twice over. And the best part, capital expenditure is above 100%. Now, the issues are whether something is not being executed or implemented at an operational level. You can keep asking for the defense minister's head.
Sanjay.
But it's like me telling you, Arnab Goswami, that Times Now got sued by somebody for 100 crores. Therefore, why don't you resign? I think we need to be a little realistic,
now what did I tell you,
mature.
I told you
got a good man at the helm,
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I'll just want to give you a little bit of advice. That I just told you that every time you make a personal comment, imagine in an imaginary world that I've taken the comment, picked it up, I've thrown it into a dustbin next to me. So that is the way I'm going to respond to all of this.
I just give you an analogy. You're taking it personally.
And the second,
just an analogy.
The second point is, it's a very easy strategy. It must be very easy, isn't it, to memorize something that you decide that regardless of what the anchor asks, I am going to answer this, and then dodge every question and only give the stated reply. So regardless of any anchor can ask you anything, like I can ask you, Sanjay, what's your name? And you will reply saying, Anthony is right, and this is my standard reply for the day. Now, Sanjay, my question to you was very simply this about batteries. Now I can also tell you, since I don't like to have this kind of a debate, the fact is it's not just the batteries which are the problem. No, it's not just the no, I'm telling you it's a wrong strategy. But it's an easy strategy for a spokesperson to decide, regardless of what the anchor asks, I will answer this. And even if I'm told to stop, I'll continue. And if an anchor asks me a second time, then I'll make a few personal remarks and then I'll get away. Now, I don't believe in that. I want to remain very factual. I will not descend to that level. But it is also transparent. Remember, Sanjay, this strategy of yours is transparent to all the viewers of Newshour. Everyone watching, and I'm putting myself on record. You can play this tape once again. What did I ask and what did you reply?
Let the viewers decide.
Anyway, I'm putting it to the viewers' discretion.
Should not try to
I'm putting it to the viewers' discretion only to place on record my observations. So the viewers can reject my observations if they want. Here are my observations. When I ask Sanjay a question on this subject, he answers on that. He gives me a prepared stock reply. And I don't think stock replies are what the viewers are looking for. Anyway, it's not just the batteries that are a problem. Even sonars, documents accessed by Times Now have been found to be defective.
There may be problems.
One minute. Just like the batteries,
there may be problems.
Let me speak. Just like the batteries, they have been cannibalized from another submarine. Sonars are critical. Let me ask the Navy officer that sonars are super critical to the functioning of submarines. The Navy is in such a situation, you are like forced to pick up a sonar from one submarine, take it to the other, one battery, take it to the other. What are you running? Some cottage industry? It's not acceptable. It's just not. I'll let Commander J Singh.
This is what I object to, Arnab. This is what I object to. Because you don't talk about how there are underwater vehicles, there are missiles that fire under the water. You don't talk about them. You only look at the negatives.
Commander J Singh. No, I'm on fact. Commander J Singh.
I just want to ask Honorable Mr. Sanjay Jha a question that he sees the light, but he's denying it. Why? He knows everything. It is like you see the daylight and deny it. No, it is not a daylight. I tell you that a simple man today, when he's going through the paper, when he gleans through these articles, we have this Project 75 India. Their file was shuttling. It was between Finance Ministry and Defense Ministry with repeated objections and clarifications causing a huge delay. Whose responsibility was this? Was it not the Defense Minister to ensure that the files are cleared quickly? In fact, the former Navy Chief, I may be wrong, former Navy Chief Admiral Joshi, he probably went to these people in MOD and Finance Ministry, sent them reminders, which is a reflection of sincerity, and they called him impulsive.
I'm saying tonight, there are people here, once again, D Bakshi, I don't usually, have to blow the credentials of individuals. I say tonight the former Chief of Army Staff, General Shankar Roychowdhury, one of the finest and most accomplished and decorated officers this country has had. General D Bakshi, I don't have to tell the people his strategic expertise. I don't have to tell the viewers the experience of Commander J Singh. And in fact, I'm proud to say that I'm very proud to say the whole country knows the credentials of Maroof Raza, not just as a strategic affairs analyst, but as a fine soldier who has served the country in the most toughest of zones and has experienced firsthand, a fine officer. Even till now, people say he's been one of the finest cadets that people have ever known and instructors at the Indian Military Academy. These are men of experience, and I'm proud to know them, and I'm proud to know that they're here on the program. If they were to disagree with me, I would dissent to them. My research doesn't match theirs. Prakash Javdekar, I'm only placing this on record. Prakash Javdekar, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
I think honesty has a virtue only if it performs. Means if you don't perform and only you are honest, that means nothing. You are supposed and you are empowered to rule that department in a way that it delivers. If you are not delivering, it's all hollow. The issue here is the very crisis which he was talking about, the defense bureaucracy, is real. But who then is responsible? That was the issue in one rank, one pension also. And the responsibility absolutely lies with the defense minister.
My question to General Roychowdhury. General Roychowdhury, is it not possible to change things if Babudam has slowed down, the mix of Babudam, is it not possible to bring in a new structure in which the decision-making apparatus is different? After that, if the services complain, it's fine, but change the decision-making system and the timelines under which things operate. Why can't we do that?
We have tried to do it for a long time. This proposal has been pending for a very long time. It has been objected to by the bureaucracy, and that is the concept of the integrated headquarters, where now, yes, we should go ahead with that, but I don't think it will ever come through because the bureaucracy will not let it. I think whoever is functioning as a minister is powerless to influence the bureaucracy.
Well, I think there should be a very strong and serious discussion on changing the decision-making system and letting expertise come forward. I'm totally out of time, gentlemen. Totally out of time, gentlemen. Maroof, I'm sorry. Okay, I give you 10 seconds, Maroof, very briefly, but not to extend the debate, just closing comments. Yes, please.
Arnab, historically, the Congress party has always put people in charge of the defense ministry who are expected to learn on the job, and they get, arm twisted by the bureaucracy who is also learning on the job. So you have blind leading blind, and the true people who are responsible for national defense and security, the men in uniform, continue to get a raw deal because they are restricted, as one of the speakers said, by the respective service acts.
I don't believe in a status quo, Maroof.
At the same time, the rules of government's business in India since 1960s put the onus of defense of the country on the defense secretary, who could have come from animal husbandry or the Department of Health.
Maroof, I think there can be no status quo. This is the India of 2014. The way India has run as far as defense in the 1960s cannot happen 50 years later. I thank you all. We respect all points of view. But tonight, things have really reached a dangerous point. And I think we must say this much and no further. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your opinions.